Okay, sup guys, it's your boy, Dark Raikou here. What if Issei was a reincarnation of Satan? 6666. You get the point. Pretty much, he is the reincarnation of Satan from a god of high school. Now, if you haven't really read that far, because I know there's like 500 chapters of the webtoon, but if you have read far, you realize that he kind of died like during the fight between Maj and Park. So there's where it kind of takes, yeah. And if you already know his form and what he kind of becomes during the fight between Maj and Park, even though he still gets his ass kicked, yeah, you get the point. But you see here, Satan from the God of High School has almost the exact same, what's it called, almost the exact same properties as Morty Jim. Just the fact that he can learn super fucking fast and copy almost a lot of abilities. He adapts super fucking fast. This is where, well, if you have read during the war war chapters between the whole gods versus humans, then you know that Satan literally just copy half of the moves from what's it called, Morty Jim, and almost kick the shit of him. Yeah. But luckily, with the plot of armor, he managed to survive. But not the point. So of course, I decided to make a what if of this. Okay, leave me alone. So yeah. I should also mention before I go on, Mr. whatever the fuck your name was on the fucking comments. If you ask me for where's Issei for what if Issei was a scientist, crazy scientist, evil scientist, I don't remember what you wanted for. But if you ask me one more fucking time, the what if is gonna come later. I don't know when, because I literally, when I got home, I just forgot about it and literally went to sleep. I didn't care. I was too damn tired. Today, I was too damn tired still, and I couldn't really think of anything in my head for that shit. So if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm going to drop kick you. Somehow. But not the point. I'm just kind of tired of your shits half the time. So shut up. Let me think of what I'm gonna do for it, and then I'll go do it. It's going to be a one-shot. But for this what if series, the one that I'm making right now, it's not a one-shot. It's going to be a series. Now shut the fuck up and let me begin. Also, I was too damn tired to actually go listen to any of the other what ifs that I kind of did. Like, what if Issei was a pirate? Well, made a pirate legacy. What if Issei had white flames, or was the white flame monarch? But yeah, you get the point. Also, I was actually kind of hearing, what's it called, what if Issei was the reincarnation of Gojo and Kakashi, and then I just got too tired and decided to make this what if. Yeah, I got lazy. Whatever. So, yeah. But not the point. Let me begin into this what if. Let me shut the fuck up and let me go begin, okay? So I won't be about too much. Okay, let's begin. So, we go into mostly everyone kind of wondering about a boy named Issei Hyoto. Now, it's been kind of like a couple months into school, and everyone has been wondering about him. The reason why they've been wondering about him is because of his whitish hair. It wasn't white in the beginning. Actually, it's kind of whitish and reddish a little bit, but mostly a whitish color. But yeah, his eyes are kind of a reddish color. Well, not a reddish color. It's actually kind of just brownish red. It's almost like completely red, but just brownish red. And of course, he mostly wears white clothing. But yeah, but of course, he mostly wears this white kind of similar kind of zipped up shirt. It's mostly like his school uniform, but it's white and kind of red. But of course, he's a little bit smaller than his previous. Well, not smaller. He's almost the same height as the last time they saw him. The reason why I say the last time they saw him is because it's been actually about 2 months since the last time anyone has actually got any recollections or any sort of information about Issei. The reason why is because 2 months ago he was gone. He disappeared. But it was just interesting. Where did he go? No one fucking knows. Truly, his parents were kind of worrying, sick, and just tired of worrying mostly about him to finding out where he went. But yeah, no one actually knew about him. But pretty much after 2 months, they found out where he was. mostly he was actually in a different state entirely. He was actually, what's it called? Not in a state. He was actually in a different country entirely. He was in South Korea. He was kind of mostly living a life differently there by kind of, well, fighting a lot of crazy things. But of course, no one really knew anything about that. But of course, he kind of was wounded and hurt, and of course, in South Korea, they kind of figured out that Issei was similar, well, mostly his DNA was similar to that boy of Issei Hyodo, who was kind of missing. So of course, this is where, well, they sent him back to Japan, mostly to Kuo. Of course, when his parents managed to get recollection, they hugged him, and right now, we're kind of static, happy, and just terrifying if they ever lose him again. Of course, no one knows how he got to South Korea, but of course, no one does question him no more. Mostly, he does stranger things every day. The power that erupts from him is pretty damn strong. Even though he tries to suppress it with magic pretty far. But it doesn't work that much. But this is where, well, he has two bracelets. Two reddish crimson bracelets that are right now in his hand. That mostly suppresses magic. So he doesn't need to do it. This is mostly an automatically. But yeah. But of course, where, well, we go into, well, Issei's sitting down right now. And this is where someone has been staring at him for like the past 2 hours. And it's been pissing him off, like annoying him so much. It's none other than Ria's grandmother who keeps staring at him. Of course, this is where, well, he narrows his eyes at her. And of course, this is where, well, we go into Ria's grandmother's POV. Rias has been wondering about the strange young hair, well, mostly the young boy, who was a pervert 2 months ago. But then after 2 months, he went missing. I was burping for a little bit. But after 2 months, he went missing. And of course, then after those 2 months, he came back looking differently and stranger. And acts kind of strange. No more longer being a pervert. Instead, he's more, well, dark to himself. He doesn't care that much. But the strangest thing that was told by, well, her, mostly was by Koneko. That was one time when Koneko was kind of walking from, well, mostly a contract and then from the store. And mostly a group of people that had, well, interesting magic signatures. They were mostly humans, but they were kind of like suppressed magic humans. They were mostly wizards, but they seemed not to be able to use magic unless one of them did. Well, one of them did because they managed to make a barrier, or a very weak barrier around them. But of course, where, well, they tried to kind of molest, well, Koneko. Of course, where Koneko would have easily beat the shit out of them if it wasn't for the barrier easily snapping. Like, it just popped. This is where, well, how it popped was mostly when one of them turns around, they saw Issei literally poking his finger through the barrier. This is where, well, Issei's eyes were cold and murderous. This is where, well, we go into Issei's kind of POV during that time. Issei said, "Sorry, but I can't let you do something to her. She's the, what's it called, mascot or whatever she is to the school from the occult research clip. And I guess her friend, whatever red hair girl, are mostly going to be worried about her. And she is kind of like my junior, so I guess I will have to protect her." Issei said in some kind of very caring tone, but just kind of caring, but not much. This is where, well, the people look at him and get angry. They rush at him. Mostly it's some people because they pull off brass knuckles, like a wooden, like what's it called, 2x2. And of course, this is where, well, someone pulls out a knife. This is where they rush at, well, Issei. And Issei looks at them with this uncaring look. This is where, well, when they got close, Issei just right now grabbed the 2x2, snapped it. The guy that tried to punch him with the, what's it called, like brass knuckles, or mostly not brass knuckles, right? Whatever. Mostly they were brass, but they were mostly, the brass knuckles. But yeah, you get the point. This is where when he punches Issei in the face, it just didn't do absolute nothing to Issei, but instead the knuckle thing literally bent and actually hurt the guy's fist. This is where, well, Issei sighs and says, "Was that all you can do?" Issei then kneed this person in the face so hard. This is where, well, the person gets knocked into the wall, denting into it. This is where, well, the other guy with the knife literally stabbed upon Issei's face, and it just snaps. This is where, well, the knife went. This is where, well, Issei said, "Was that all you can do? Seriously, you're weak." This is where Issei slapped the shit out of him. Bitch smacked this man so hard, this man slaps into the wall, like slams into it, not slaps. Mostly slams into it. This is where, well, the guy with the 2x2 runs away, like he said, "Fuck that shit." This is where the magic user gets annoyed. This is where he makes a fireball, the most powerful fireball that he knows about. This is where he launches it at Issei. Issei grins and says, "That's quite interesting." Well, that doesn't work at all at me. This is where, well, he just uses his hand to just grab the fireball and just crushes it in his hand, like just what's it called, extinguishing out of his hand. He didn't absorb it. He didn't just like dispel it. He crushed it and it just dispelled after a while. He didn't use any magic. He just grabbed that shit and just like it was too weak for his shit and his liking that much. This is where, well, Issei appears right in front of the wizard and says, "You're quite interesting, but also quite annoying. So, let me help you out with your two arms." This is where Issei appears behind him, right now having both of his arms right now behind him. This is where, well, he then puts his leg onto the guy's back. And this is where Issei said, "You know, you're quite annoying with your arms. I heard that wizards usually really love having their arms intact. That means they could be able to use magic spells and other things. What happens if I snap them off your body?" This is where the guy says, "Please, no." This is where the other leader, the actual leader that was in this group, started just freaking out. He falls down to the ground. Konako just sees this and right now horrified. This is where, well, Issei now has his evil mad grin. The guy screams in an instant. Right now falling down to the ground. Right now just having his eyes almost lifeless. Crying in pain. This is where Issei turns around. Right now, one of his eyes almost seems to just turn like fully red, and of course, his face turns blackened, like darkened. This is where a grin appears on his face. Looks like it's about to split his face into two. This is where, well, Issei said, "Well, what do we have here? The leader? I guess you didn't want him to run away. Instead, you wanted to die like a man, wasn't it?" This is where the man said, "What are you, some demon?" This is where, well, Issei said, "Oh, I'm a demon. Sure, you can call me that. It doesn't matter what you can call me. I just don't like people hurting my junior." This is where, well, Issei looks at Konako and says, "Turn around or close your eyes. What I'm gonna be doing to him is something really gruesome and what's called graphic. So I suggest you turn around." This is where, well, Konako says, "Please, stop." This is where, well, Issei looks at her and says, "Okay." This is where Issei lets go of the guy because he had him from the shirt and had his fist almost close to this guy's face. And this is where, well, Issei then kind of like give out his hand towards Konako and says, "Come on, let's go." This is where, well, Konako, she didn't know what to do, but she had to grab his arm because if he did anything more worse than the guy that he just snapped, what's it called, his hands, she kind of got scared. She needed to stop him somehow. This is where, well, she decides to grab his hand, and of course, this is where Issei leaves the alleyway. This is where, well, he then pats her on the head, saying, "Wow, so are you okay or not?" This is where, well, Issei kind of just, his face goes back into stoic a little bit. Of course, not into that mad, lustful grin in murder. Most into a serious look to see if she's fine. But before they left out of the alleyway, Issei turns around towards all of them, all of the people that were left. Issei said, "I should also tell you," in a very stern look, a murderous look, "dare touch anyone else from Kowa Academy, and I'll make sure that I send you to the ground 6 feet under the fucking earth. Do you understand me?" This is where, well, they go, and say, "Yes, sir." This is where, well, Issei said, "Good." This is where, well, Issei then kind of had a stern look at Konako about if she was hurt or anything. Konako shook her head. She was kind of nervous around Issei because his power is kind of malicious a little bit, but of course it's being suppressed a little bit, not much. He has like 25, he kind of like has a magical dome around him that's kind of very dense and scary for anyone. This is where Issei noticed that she's still scared of his magic, even though it's pretty small. So of course, it's where, well, Issei just pats her, saying, there. No more mean person will ever hurt you or tries to molest you ever again. There. This is where, well, Issei just pets her in the head, and this is where she kind of likes it, but of course, this is where she's still scared of him. This is where, well, Issei said, he seems to be still very scared. You should probably go home. Little, well, mascot Chen. This is where, well, even though Konako doesn't like the, what's it called, whole mascot thing, and she knows that a lot of people call her that, because she's like the mascot of what they call the research club, because she's very adorable. She doesn't like it, and worse, being called mascot Chan. Yeah, she doesn't like it at all, but what is she gonna do against Issei? Issei is one of the most scariest people she ever met. Even though he was a pervert in the beginning from the school, but 2 months after, a while after being found in what's it called, South Korea, he became someone so deadly and different. He didn't care about human life entirely. This is where, well, she didn't know if he was a demon somehow related to it, because his magic was a little bit kind of dark magic. But of course, it wasn't the same dark magic that mostly demons kind of use, or kind of they were born with. It was a little bit more different. It was similar towards Ria's magic, well, kind of her mana magic, mostly her presence, but it was different. It was much more darker. He could be a demon, he could be just a human with dark magic, or just skills of a fucking mage, similar to that, but pretty much mostly a fighter. This is where, well, he felt kind of demonic, but not much. This is where, well, Issei says, well, see ya, Kanako Chen. I should be going then. This is where Issei walks from her, mostly the opposite. Mostly they were walking towards wherever, but of course Issei just turned around and was walking away. This is where Kanako was actually getting scared, but he was going back to actually finish them. This is where Issei, he turns to mostly a street because they passed like 3 streets down. Of course, he then kind of walks to the opposite side. He was mostly looked like he was going to a convenience store and other stuff. This is where Konako sighs. She thought that what they call Issei was actually going back to finish them. This is where, well, Issei goes into the store and literally go buy stuff. But yeah, we go into what, well, mostly we go back into Rias. This is where Rias remembers that. This is where, well, she thinks of bringing Issei into her barrage. But she thinks of like bringing him into her barrage. Just one problem here. She doesn't know if he would like to, or he wouldn't care too much, or would just see what's it called, Rias and the others as a threat, and definitely also probably see Son as a threat if he finds out they're doubles, because she doesn't know if he was kind of in South Korea because of like a demon lord, or mostly not demon, like a devil managed to transform him into becoming a reincarnation devil, or was it something else? But of course, she doesn't know much, mostly that he was found in South Korea, and when they tried to investigate into mostly the South Korea incident, they found out absolutely nothing. There was other beings in South Korea, yes, but they weren't kind of leading anything into Issei. But of course, she tries to figure out what happened and why he was so injured in South Korea in the first place. But of course, there was really no information. It's like the government was trying to keep a secret. And Issei himself seems to also be keeping a secret. It's like if he was connected to the government of South Korea in some way or somehow. But of course, this is where, well, Issei, he just kind of was looking out into the wilderness, kind of just looking at it and how beautiful it is if he wasn't being stared for 2 hours. This is where, well, Issei says, you know what, one day I should just get an umbrella and just put it there. I don't care if you can literally see through it in X-ray vision. That shit would be creepy as hell still. He thinks about it. Maybe you should just make a cement wall right in front of me, or right next to me, just so she can stop looking at me. This is where Issei says, that's it! This is where, well, Rias kind of stares at him for a little bit more until something cartoonish kind of happened a little bit. Issei pulls out a bunch of stone bricks and cement, It literally starts making a brick wall right to where Rias is staring from him and literally sit behind it. This is where Rias says, wait, what the fuck? This is where, well, she just thinks, what the fuck? Where the hell did he get all that? This is where, well, Issei, he says, I feel much better. No more staring at me. This is where, well, Rias says, did he know that I was staring at him for a while? She's right now kind of sweat dropping, and of course just kind of having her mouth all the way wide, and just like a bug can fly in. But this is where Akano will say appears, throwing something into her mouth. And this is where Rias coughs and says, Akano, what the hell? Rias, you know you shouldn't be opening your mouth that wide unless you're going to try to take something, well, creamy. This is where, well, Rias says, shut up already for a second. Do you see the wall right there? Yeah, it's a normal wall near a bench. Why is it there? Well, this is where, well, Ria said, well, Issei built that there. Wait, what? Why? It looks like he noticed that I've been staring at him for a while. I don't know how he got the supplies. Don't ask me. He didn't use magic. It looked like he just built it there. This is where, well, Issei starts writing on the wall saying, Issei's spot, go away. Yeah, Issei's kind of childish sometimes. This is where, well, Issei gets up after a while stretching and realizes that his hands can literally be seen over the wall. So of course he decides to get more brick wall, mostly brick, puts it over just to make it a little bit bigger, and this is where he starts saying, feels much better. This is where, well, Akano and Ria says, they just switch off and says, really? Not even we can stare at his hands? This is where Issei said, now, how to get out of this situation without them staring at me? I could walk normally, or I could start running, booking into the trees. This is where, well, Issei says, I should just book into the trees. Issei right now runs, jumps, and then jumps into bushes. This is where, well, both Akano and Ria switch off, realizing that Issei doesn't like being stared at. And he noticed that they're staring at him. So of course, Issei then just crosses through the bushes like a freaking cat. Like if he doesn't like being just followed. And of course, this is where he kind of gets back into school after a while. Yes, he'd been ditching for 3 hours. He didn't care. This is where, well, he gets into class, and this is where the class that he's in is actually a class that he kind of likes. Mostly history. Kind of. Well, it's quite interesting to him about a bunch of historian stuff and other stuff. He kind of mostly likes learning about some of the strong, powerful warriors that were in Japan. And he wishes he was back then in Japan just to fight them. Because they sound very powerful. But yeah. But of course, this is where, well, Issei sits down and everyone kind of looks at him just confused. But yeah, because they always see Issei in history class. But in his other 3 classes that he's supposed to be in is, what's it called? Mostly language arts for Japan, or Japanese, whatever. Mostly math and other stuff. He ditches those 3 classes because he doesn't fucking like them. Calculation math really sucks, and he's not that type of person. He's smart, but he's not that damn smart. He knows that the calculations might help him in battle, but he's not going to care too much. He'd rather be very destructive. He doesn't care of lowering down his power. So yeah, this is where, well, Issei then was about to like get up after class, and mostly this is where, well, Murahama Matsui comes up to him saying, yo, Issei, wanna go peep on the girls? This is where a bunch of mostly Kendo girls were there, kind of just glaring at them. Issei kind of looks at them and just walks past him. This is where, well, they said, so is that a yes or no? No. Issei said coldly. This is where, well, Matsui and Murahama says, but why not? It's been such a couple of days, a week about, 2 weeks since you didn't peek on the girls. That means that you got a girlfriend. This is where girls kind of heard him. Well, mostly heard, what's it called? Matsui. This is where, well, Murahama then cries, Issei, is that true? This is where they're crying. This is where, well, they say, traitor. This is where Issei looks at them. Right now, just having one of his eyebrows twitch multiple times. This is where he's getting quite annoyed with them. And he might accidentally send them to a hospital just for them to shut the fuck up. This is where Issei says, oh, you know what? Murahama and Matsui, I need to talk to you, both of you. Mostly meet me up at the nurse office. Wait, what? This is where they see this evilish grin appear on Issei's face. Even the girls looks at him confused. This is where, well, next class starts and Issei is just walking away from the nurse office right now, kind of cleaning his hands from dust and blood and other stuff. Mostly he has like a towel and he's just like, he's walking away from the nurse office without a care in the world. Even mostly some of the kennel class girls and also someone named Aki or Aka kind of looks to kind of see in what Issei did to the two perverted, and they see him cleaning his hand with a towel, and of course it's kind of red. That's where he throws it in the trash and just laughs a little. Idiots. This is where, well, they're confused in what he did, but of course when they try to get towards the nurse office, they see it's kind of bloody. They're really confused, really horrified in what Issei did to them. And when they walk in, they see both of the, what's it called, well, mostly 2.5 pervert trios, mostly knocked the fuck out. Issei is walking to his next class. The next class is robotics. He's not good at robots, but he can try and make something destructive. Something that will at least give him a good chance of a fighting. This is where, well, that's what he's trying to make a robot. He's literally trying to make a perfect robot that will give him a fucking good fight. But he's not that good at making robots. But he would try. Try and fail, but some of the robots he makes literally explode right in front of his face, which pisses him off most of the time, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei says, son of a bitch! This is where a robot punch, well, mostly didn't punch him, mostly was a weak kind of like punch because he didn't make the pressure kind of like show or mostly launch pretty fast. So of course a weak punch, and this is where Issei says, how hard is this to make a very fighting robot? This is where the robotic teacher says, what is happening, Issei? Issei says, I can't make a robot that will actually like fight. I want to make a giant robot that will fight me. This is where, well, the robotic teacher kind of chuckles and says, really? Is that what you think about, only fighting? I thought you will make some kind of like sexual robot. I'm not Matsuya Murahama, Issei said, very cold and annoyed. This is where, well, the teacher chuckles a little bit more because he knows how Issei really changed, and he changes for the better. In his words, it's for the better. Even though if Issei is literally a cold-blooded murderer, he's no longer a pervert. He'd rather see Issei be a cold-blooded murderer, like a killer, a destroyer, a fucking, what's it called? A crime in war, like a fucking committer in crime and war. He'd rather like see him literally become anything else but a pervert. He doesn't care if it's legal or not legal. Well, yeah, you get the point. This is where, well, he says, well, okay. So what kind of robot are you trying to make? He says he's kind of looking through what's it called, a computer. This is where Issei says, what to make? Ooh, him. This is where he points out Ultron. Mostly a picture from Iron Man, and the robot's called Ultron. Ooh, you're making something advanced. I don't know if you can make something like that. This is where Issei looks at some videos, and this is where, well, it really doesn't tell him what's it called, how to make Ultron, but it's mostly some videos and how Ultron kind of works, mostly in the movies. And this is where, well, he says, well, Ultron here is supposed to be created by an AI. It's a very smart AI. So I gotta make a very smart AI to just show to be Ultron, then I gotta fight his ass. Yes. Okay, but of course, this is where, well, Issei is kind of like looking at it and saying, damn, I really wish I could fight this type of robot. So sad. This is where the teacher laughs. His name is, well, he's mostly from a Western country, mostly American. His name is Johnson, Mr. Johnson. This is where, well, Mr. Johnson mostly kind of just chuckles at Issei's antics and how he is most of the time. Issei kind of acts like a child half the time, serious half the time like an adult, or even murders like some kind of psychopath. But yet, he acts mostly like a child during some situations that usually bore him the fuck out of his mind. But yeah, this is where, well, think of it like when Asta is kind of clueless, like against like, what's it called, anything like smart. If you have seen Black Clover and you've seen Asta when he's kind of that clueless, yeah, he's like that. He's just confused half the time. This is where, well, he says like that. This is where, well, the mostly robotic teacher just kind of chuckles. Or did I say Mr. Johnson? Well, I'm gonna call him Mr. John just to make it shorter. Yes. So Mr. John kind of just said, "Yeah, kid, shit. Well, good luck with that." This is where, well, he says, "You're not gonna help me? Hey, it's too much for me. You asking the wrong teacher. I'm not the smartest out here. But guess what? If you can make it, then I'll believe in you, kidding. Thanks, teach." Thanks for the compliment, but this is where he's excited. So, right now, mostly sweat dropping. And this is where, well, the teacher just walks away and just chuckles and just goes back to his like table. But yeah, this is where, well, he says, I need someone smart. Who do I know is smart? Absolutely no one. Goddamn, every person I ever encountered was stupid as shit. Or just less smarter than me. Matsui and Murahama aren't that smart, and I just knocked the fuck out of both of them. I mean, yes, Murahama's smart, but he isn't this smart. Who do I get to help me with this? He smashes his face into the table right now, annoyed. This is where he's growling because he wants to make Ultron literally fight him. He will definitely show that he's stronger than anyone in this world. He just wants to surpass his limits. This is where, well, he's right now annoyed because this is where he remembers something in South Korea about a figure easily kicking his ass and telling him, if you can easily defeat me next time we see, then I will tell you that you will be one of the strongest little incarnation of Satan. This is where, well, Issei was annoyed. He tries to get up at that time. He was really badly hurt. This is where Issei fell into, well, unconscious at that time. And literally that's how he came back to Japan. He was so damn annoyed. He then smashes both of his hands to the fucking table. Almost cracks it. This is where Issei says, son of a bitch. Ugh. Damn it, how did I lose to that fucker? This is where Issei is so fucking annoyed and stressed the fuck out. This is where he gets up and decides to walk around the school. He asks if he can just walk around the school. Mr. John kind of just said, sure, go ahead. Just, if you get in trouble, tell them that you're just ditching. Don't snitch me out. Don't fucking rat me out, little brat. This is where Issei says, yeah, I'm not any of the other kids. This is where, well, Mr. John says, good. Okay? This is where, well, Issei says, yeah, I know. This is where, well, Issei kind of walks away, but yeah. This is where Issei is getting around, mostly going to the, like, vending machine because of the vending machine. This is where, well, it's outside, but of course, this is where, well, he kind of sees the vending machine. He gets to it. He kind of looks around, see no cameras, no nothing. This is where Issei was about to punch the shit out of the vending machine just to kind of break it. But this is where, well, before he kind of punches, this is where someone says, hey, what are you doing? This is where Issei goes, hey, right now looking for my wallet. This is where Issei gonna just pat his, like, pockets. This is where he turns around and he sees none other than the prince of, what's it called, Kuo. And that is, well, Kiba Yuta. This is where, well, Issei says, I'm just looking for my wallet. I kind of lost it. This is where, well, Issei's trying to look around. And this is where, well, that's why I was kind of stressed about to punch it. But knowing that it won't be able to break, this is where Issei starts kind of making random stuff up. But yeah, this is where, well, Kiba noticed, this is Issei. This is where, well, Kiba says, if you want food, I can easily buy it for you. He says, really? Please? This is where Issei kind of has stars in his eyes. This is where, well, Kiba said, yeah, what do you want? Just a drink. Mostly, I wanted Coke soda. This is where, well, he kind of puts money in it, and of course, this is where, well, Coke kind of drops, and this is where Issei grabs it. This is where he opens it and drinks it. Go. This is where, well, Issei kind of says, much better. This is where Kiba says, aren't you supposed to be in one of her classes? Yeah, I just decided to ditch because I was stressed in it, but yeah. This is where Issei kind of sweat drops a little bit. This is where, well, not, well, mostly, well, Issei, mostly it was Kiba, but yeah. Kiba says, hey Issei, would you like to meet up with mostly my leader in the cult research club? Issei looks confused at Kiba, and this is where, well, Issei said, sure, I can do that. I don't really have anything else to do. I'm too stressed and annoyed, but yeah. This is where Kiba right now says, okay, then can you come along with me? Issei said, sure, I can. That's why, well, when they kind of get to the mostly occult research club and open the door, Issei sees Rias Grammary right now dealing with a douchebag with yellowish hair and blue eyes. Of course, sees Sona right now just holding herself back with Tsubaki right now trying to murder this bastard. And then there's someone with whitish hair who he never seen. Mostly the blondish hair dude and the whitish hair girl he never fucking seen. One kind of looks, they look, well, both. Well, one thing he knows, they both look pretty damn old. They do not look anything like students. And second, he doesn't give a fucking who this blondish hair bastard is. He seems arrogant, cocky, and he sees a new fight of despair. This is where, well, his eyes kind of glow with this, like, evilish color a little bit. But this is where, well, he didn't really show it. And this is where, well, Rhea says, Kiba, you're back. This is where, well, Riser says, and who the hell, what did your servant bring? Some white hair, reddish bastard? What is he anyway? This is where, well, tries to be near her eyes because she can sense the dense magic around Issei. This is where, we'll see Rhea says, and you brought Issei-kun. This is where, well, when Riser heard the word kun, he kind of got outraged, rushes at Issei with blinding speed and says, you know what? Since you like this person out of nowhere, I should erase him with fire magic. He grabs Issei from the face, and this is where, well, he says, die! He blasts Issei, but of course this is where Issei's face is, like, somewhat stinging with fire, but he barely has any, like, burn marks. His clothes didn't really burn, but of course it's kind of got a little dark spots, just a little bit. And he quite got annoyed, because he likes his white clothing a lot. And if it gets hurt, or mostly, in his case, hurt, burnt, or just cut, or anything in general, or even dirty, he's going to murder the son of a bitch who did it. This is where, well, Issei right now, his eyes turned bloodshot red out of annoyment, and they became slick also, showing that it's actually slick. This is where, well, wings right now, well, mostly, like, wings behind him kind of explodes from behind him. These are two crimson red wings, and right now a tail behind him also appears. Horns also appears right now on top of his head, and this is where, well, mostly what happens is this. This is where, well, Issei is quite annoyed and grabs right now Riser from the neck, saying, you son of a bitch. You know how much my fucking clothes cost to make them keep perfect? You're the son of a bitch is going to die in an instant. This is where, well, Riser winded his eyes and realized that he's another demon, but magic around him is so much denser that's right now pushing Riser to the ground, but right now being held up in the air, and it feels like he's like being crushed by the magic that Issei is letting out from his body. This is where everyone feels it, and almost everyone falls down to the ground. Even Gracebi, she won her eyes. The power that was close to even Sir Zex. This is where Issei said, I'm going to kill you and rip you apart. You little arrogant little shit. This is where, well, Riser won his eyes. Did he just piss off a high-class demon, or was he demon? Like, whatever. He looked like he was ultimate demon level. The fucking magic that he was sending down. Even what's it called, Riser's Piranha Stare. And of course, they were pushed down to all the ground. They were almost smashed to the ground. This is where Issei was already annoyed. This is where ice was about to appear, mostly thanks to Gracebi. But this is where all of the ice just literally just melted in an instant before even touching Issei or even Riser. This is where Issei said, I don't give a shit in who you damn are. You are one of the last fucking people that should dare touch me. The only people that should ever touch me with either respect or love is my parents. You is the last damn pathetic bug, fucking fiery chicken that should ever touch me. This is where Issei right now is still holding on to what's it called, Riser's neck, and right now he looks to the wall, and of course this is where, well, he right now tosses Riser so fast to the wall right now, making a, well, not even a huge dent, a huge hole, and right now smash into the school building. This is where, well, everyone winding their eyes, but luckily it wasn't the school building, it was mostly the gym that was right now not being used. This is where, well, Issei says, fucking touch me again and I'll make sure I'll rip your fucking neck into 2 pieces. You little mother. This is where, well, Issei sees his burnt marks, and of course this is where he starts healing them with his magic. Right now getting all the burnt marks. Of course this is where, well, his face already healed in an instant, going back to being smoothly white, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei's hair almost went, well, what's it called? Just completely red from almost a second. This is where it was white. Well, it kept its kind of original color being kind of white and tinted red. This is where, well, this is a so annoying, pathetic bastard. This is where, well, Issei did notice that Gracebi is still sending magic at her, well, mostly him entirely, but it doesn't do jack, even 1 second of anything towards him. This is where Issei then copies her magic in an instant. Ice Spears. This is where Ice Spears appears. plus fire. This worked well. The ice spirits were combined with fire magic in an instant. Grace be won her eyes. She's been trying to launch ice spears straight towards Issei to stop him from actually like throwing Riser, but literally Issei copied both infinities of magic. Riser's infinity of fire of like close to a phoenix. Literally, his magic is now close to a phoenix, but it now has ice on it. Well, mostly ice around. Well, mostly the fire around the ice, which should be melting the ice at this point, but isn't at all. This is where, well, Issei combines both ice, well, mostly ice and fire together, making what they call fiery ice. This is where, well, fiery ice spears. This is where he launches fire them at what's it called, Graceby. And when Graceby tries to make an ice wall, they just pierce through the ice, well, mostly wall, and literally almost stab upon her. This is where, well, she was now at the wall, and even at the mercy of Issei. Issei said, "Goddamn annoying bastards. Was I just here to be bothered too much?" Issei is right now cleaning off some of the dust that managed to land upon him after throwing Riser like a fucking dart through the fucking wall. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei's magic started calming down after a while because he realized what he was doing. He was making everyone almost die from the magical pressure that he had. This is where, well, the magical pressure started kind of going down and down and down and down, mostly kind of covering around his aura, his mostly body aura now, shaping into his body aura, trying to calm himself down. Now he has his demonic wings out, and also his demonic tail and demonic horns out. This is where Graceby right now looks at Issei, and of course with this complex look, Issei looks completely different. He's shown to now be a demon, and Konako was fucking right in the money. Literally, Issei is a demon, but he's not an incarnate demon because there's no way in hell an incarnate demon would be this damn strong. This is where, well, Issei said, "What are y'all looking at?" You're probably wondering, how the fuck am I a demon? Well, I don't fucking know. It could be with my blood purchase line or whatever bullshit. I don't know. Surely, all I care about right now is a fucking explainment and what the fuck I just threw, because clearly he was close to a phoenix, mostly like a fiery chicken. I like to call them fiery chickens because they're literally just nothing but fried chickens. Don't give a shit. This is where, well, Rabble kind of gets up and says, "We're not fire chickens." This is where Issei says, "The hell do you say, little brat?" This is where Issei has a murderous look at her. And this is where Issei says, "Do you want to be also a dart like your brother?" This is where she shuts the hell up and doesn't say anything no more. Good. Now explain to me why a fiery fucking chicken attacked me for no other fucking reason than the fact that he was pissed from Ria's grammar calling me coon. This is where all of them looks at what's it called, Issei. Issei seems to become a little bit smarter, and of course, just also pretty damn pissed. He still has a very angry expression, but yeah. He has one of his hands towards his, like, what's it called, waist. Mostly his left hand, well, towards his waist. I'm kind of looking at them with this, well, just come on, explain to me. This is where, well, Ria sighs and does explain what is happening, or what would have happened if Issei didn't intervene and literally threw Riser like a fucking dart. Which right now Tsubaki and, well, Sona literally have to try to cover, well, rebuild the kind of parts so not many people from school to figure out what is happening for the supernatural. But yeah. Issei says, "So the fiery chicken was supposed to marry you." Well, damn. If he was supposed to be this strong, then why the hell did I get his ass so easily and threw him like a rag doll through the wall? Ria says, "I don't fucking know. You tell me, how the fuck are you this strong?" This is where Issei remembers, hey, reincarnation of Satan. Mostly he remembers a memory. This is where Issei says, "What? Who are you?" Mostly, well, it was a memory that he was in South Korea, and he did learn the South Korea kind of language very easily. But this is where, well, the person says, "Me? Well, I'm a type of god. And I'm just here to see if you surely are the reincarnation of Satan." "Huh? And who the hell are you?" "Someone that you should probably fight to see." This is where, well, Issei fought him, but of course easily got defeated. He was, like, cut down from his, what's it called? Mostly he looked to be an old man, but he didn't know what type of old man was this powerful. Telekinesis to easily right now cut him multiple times, being even to electricity his body, and being easily able to use a sword that was floating up in the air right now, easily cutting him through his chest. This is where, well, Issei said, "Cut!" Won't die, he said. This is where Issei activates borrow power and Diablo. This is where, well, he tries to fight against the old man, but still he was still too weak and lost. But yeah, this is where the older man, mostly the very old man, says, so you are the reincarnation of Satan. 666. This is where, well, he said quietly. This is where, well, Musa says, who? This is where Issei passed out. This is where Issei, he said, I guess you can call me, I guess you can say I'm the reincarnation of 666. This is where, well, all of them wind their eyes. If he was the reincarnation of, well, the, like, actual Lucifer, mostly the Lucifer that fell from grace to become a devil after a while. No, he wasn't a fallen angel, he was a devil and all that. Other things, he didn't become I think he became a fallen angel, but he was one of those that fell from grace, mostly the first creation of, well, what's it called, the Bible God. But of course, this is where everyone kind of went in their eyes. If he's the reincarnation, that powerful being, then literally he's able to take out everyone here in an instant. This is where, well, but mostly also that number can also relate that he is another being, but they don't really know about this being, other than it's called Triseca. But of course, he's not Triseca. They all just think he's the Lucifer. Literally the real, like, Lucifer that was reincarnated. The one problem is not many people remember in what Lucifer looks like. There's no way he looked like a child, or mostly having whitish hair, reddish hair at the same time. But of course, mostly like white but red highlights, and also having what's called red horns and what's it called red wings or a tail. Now, of course, you remember because, well, first of all, the red wings, they don't even know, like, if Issei is what he is, telling the truth, then he should be like the actual Lucifer. Just came back from the fucking grave just to beat the shit out of, well, his descendants for being idiots. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei said, what are you all looking at me? This is where, well, Grace P says, young Issei, is that your name? This is where she managed to get out of the wall. Issei says, yeah, how the hell did you get out of the wall? Didn't I just, oh wait, I dispelled the magic. This is where, well, she says, may you please come with me to the underworld. The hell? I'm not going to die. This is where Issei said sweat dropping, like he doesn't want to die. This is where Gracie being the other sweat drop, because he clearly doesn't know anything about the underworld or anything. This is where, well, Issei said, God, I'm not going back to the underworld. Wherever that is. I'm not going to die. This is where, well, he seems to be really clueless. He doesn't know much. He's either the Lucifer they're all thinking about but lost some memories, or he's another type of being and they're right now mistaking him. But of course, this is where, well, they don't know why he has crimson red wings behind him. This is where, well, Grace of Peace says, may you show all your wings? This is where Issei says, this is all my wings. I only have 2. Actually? Wait. This is where, well, Issei right now concentrates fast right now to see if he has any more wings from behind him. And this is where 2 more wings spreads out from behind him. He has now a wings of 6 total. This is where Issei says, I guess I have 6 now. This is where, well, Grace should be winding her eyes. She wasn't expecting Issei to be able to just multiply his wings, which that happened. But he's pretty good in what's called advancing really fast. This is where, well, he didn't really know that he can advance much faster. He advances much faster than normal humans. Any entire beings of humans, he's much faster. But yeah. But of course, this is where, well, Issei said, but why am I going to the underworld? This is where, well, a magic circle appears, but this is where Issei managed to jump away. This is where, well, Issei says, what the fuck? Hey, I never said I wanted to go to the underworld. This is where, well, Grace says, but you need to meet my lord. This is where, well, Rias tries to touch Issei, which she managed to because she wasn't, like, sending any hostile attack. This is where Rias says, can you calm down, Issei? I don't want you to, well, use your wings and what's it called, displace and easily rip things. This is where Issei says, oh, sorry about that. This is where Issei right now, his wings went back to normal, mostly towards the back. This is where Issei says, still, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just, shit, I also gotta go back to my parents' house before they get worried again. This is where Grace to be says, it'll be really quick if you're worried about your parents. This is where, well, she's actually confused because she doesn't know much about Issei. This is where, well, Ria says, wait, they don't know anything about the supernatural? This is where Issei says, the supernatural what? This is where everyone realizes that Issei doesn't even know about any of that. This is where Gracefully Dead also get Riser after a while, mostly from Tsubaki and Sona kind of pushing him with water. We're trying to, but they don't really want to touch him. But yeah. Of course, it was mostly a water golem that brought him back. This is where, well, Gracefully Dead take him back, mostly kind of holding him from the collar, but yeah. And this is where, well, Gracefully says, seriously, so he has no clue what the supernatural is. Okay, we need to just tell him everything. Because he is a devil. He could be a descendant of Lucifer, maybe. This is where, well, she's now thinking of possibilities. Because if he's a reincarnation or possibly a descendant, then still, no matter what, he has to learn about his legacy, or whatever he is. This is where, well, Ria says, it's be really quick. You're just going to meet with Oni-san. This is where, well, Ria said. This is where Issei says, who? But my older brother. He's kind of the ruler of, well, the underworld. And why should I care? This is where Issei right now swipe up and confusedly. This is where Ria says, just please go. This is where, well, Issei says, sure. This is where, well, Issei's confused. This is where he's going with what's it called, Gracefully. And this is where Ria says, I'm also going, Gracefully, can I go? This is where Gracefully says, yes. The more explainment might be much better for what's called Sir Sex. This is where, well, they're going, and of course a magic circle just blink out of existence. This is where, well, they're all teleported to the underworld. This is where, well, they appear right next to Sir Sex, and Sir Sex, Gracefully, you're back. How did the, marriage appear? This is where he sees a Riser right now kind of like dropped on the ground thanks to, well, Gracefully kind of just dropping him. This is where Rias appears saying, brother, I'm not marrying Riser. This is where she still acts kind of what they call very attitude-y, but yeah. This is where Gracefully, there's no time to kind of ask him about that. This is where, well, Rias says, I know. It was worth a shot. This is where, well, Sir Sex says, what did he do to Riser there, Rias? This is where Rias got the perfect chance and says, I beat him up. This is where, well, Sir Sex sweat drops. This is where Gracefully explains not truly the real detail. This is where Riser was about to get up and say, what the hell just... This is where Issei noticed that he was getting up and he's like, oh no you don't. This is where Issei kicks him right in the stomach, knocking him the fuck out. Issei says, there, stick your ass back down. It's better for you just to stay there. Fried chicken. This is where, well, Issei is right now, his toe is swinging around, and this is where his horns are shown. And of course, where, well, Sir Sex says, who is that boy? And he truly looks like one of those demons that the humans kind of mistake us from looking like. That is Issei, mostly Ria said. This is where, well, his tail is right now moving around, mostly Issei's. And this is where, well, Sir Sex says, explaining what he is. This is where, well, Ria says, can you show your wings towards my brother? This is where Issei says, oh, sure. This is where 6 wings appear, right now being crimson red. But being a little bit more sharper than a normal, what's it called, bat wing, or mostly any of the, what's it called, demon wings. This is where, well, Sir Sex says, what the? Interesting. So he's a demon, isn't he? Is he incarnation? Or this is where, well, they say, well, both Gracefully and Rias kind of explain and what Issei could be and could not be. This is where, well, Sir Sex says, I see. Then if he's a descendant, he's going to be a high-ranking devil. And if he can also easily defeat you, Gracefully, and Riser there, then he's clearly ultimate level right now. I see. Then he should have his own barrage. That's where he says in his head. And he should bear... Wait a minute. That's it! This is where he snapped his fingers, and this is where, well, a light bulb actually appears on top of his head. This is where both Gracefully and right now Ria switch off and say, did you see what I see? This is where both of them said. This is where they kind of shake their head right now silently. They saw a fucking light bulb literally appears on top of his head. But yeah. This is where, well, Sir Sex says, hello there, Issei-sen. This is where Issei says, huh? Yeah? This is where, well, Riser was about to get up, and this is where Issei stomps his head to the ground and says, yeah? This is where Sir Sex sweat drops because literally Issei doesn't give a shit about the fried chicken. Also known as Riser, but yeah. This is where, well, Sir Sex says, how would you like to become married to my sister? This is where Ria says, what? Issei says, What's marriage? This is where I started sex. Okay, you barely know anything, do you? If it's not fighting, then I'm very confused. This is where, well, Issei's kind of acting like a kid most of the time. This is where, well, Search X6. Okay, you're a fighter type. Okay, I can see that. You clearly are stomping the fuck out of what's it called, Riser there. So, okay, I'll explain to you. We go into 2 hours later. Issei says, so I could be a descendant of Lucifer-san, or I could be the reincarnation of Lucifer. Being that this is where Issei learns this all in like 2 hours, pretty fast. They didn't need to repeat stuff. Issei learned this all pretty fast. This is where they wind their eyes, noticing that he can learn actually things pretty fast. But yeah, this is where Issei said, I guess if it would stop the whole marriage and other stuff from that fried chicken, I guess I would like to ruin his life. This is where it will. Right now, Sir Zack sweat-draws because that's not what it was supposed to be, but he's glad that Issei has a great understanding about it. This is where Ria's kind of also not. This is where, what's it called, mostly Sir Zack says, okay, you're going to fight him against him in the rating games, so you can marry Rias. Or mostly have a marriage Rias thing, blah, blah, blah. This is where, well, Issei nodded and says, okay, when is that going to happen? 2 days. Okay. This is where Issei says, I have nothing planned there. Okay. Then good. This is where, well, Ria says, yes, I'm going to be free from Riser. This is where she's happy. And this is where, well, she's actually dancing a little bit. But yeah, this is where, well, both Sir Sex and Gracie be kind of chuckles. And this is where Issei right now sweat drops at her antics. But yeah. This is where, well, Issei doesn't still understand about marriage or anything. Because he's not really, well, he does know about it, but he doesn't really care about it that much. He's not going to, like, actually have kids with her because he doesn't really care. He's still at his, like, still figuring out who the hell that was during South Korea's kind of adventures. So, of course, at least he knows that he's going to be free and not like a devil slave or anything. So, he's going to be an ultimate devil after he defeats Riser. But yeah, we go into 2 days later. But for right now, I'm going to end it off here for part, well, 1 of this What If. This is called What If Issei was a reincarnation of Satan. 666. But yeah, you get the point. Well, other than that, have a nice potato day. Well, not potato day. Mostly just have a nice night, day, or whatever. I gotta go. I gotta do something. And bye.